This is Dale Dickerson with Coach Jason Russell, this week's Coaches Show. Coach, you always want to try to defend home turf.
Yeah, absolutely.
Started out house of fire that first drive.
Yeah, we did. We did some really good things. That first drive, we come down and we get the run game going with a little bit of outside zone to that side, to our sideline, and we were doing a really good job, and we continued to do a really good job on the offensive line, blocking and taking care of that edge. We had really good blocking on that first series where we got the defensive backs, the linebackers, we got them blocked, and they really couldn't stop us that first series. You know, we tried to come back to that play as the game progressed, and we just were not getting the blocks done on the outside. And you know, I felt like we continued to get the edge over and over again, but we got to do a better job blocking in space.
Well, we had that old bugaboo that hit us before that we thought we had put to bed, showed its ugly head again this week.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just frustrating. You know, I mean, we do so many things well, and then we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot. We don't make the block when the block's there to be made. Don't make the catch when it's there to be made. Or you know, when we had a bunch of missed tackles, and you know, so things that we've just got to fix. You know, I feel like we're in the right spots. You know, and now it's, you know, from there it's just a matter of, you know, fundamental skills of football. You know, we got to block better, we've got to tackle better. We're where we're supposed to be, but we've got to make the plays when the plays are there to be made.
I was going to say, you can have a game plan, but if the execution's not there,
That's right.
It doesn't do any good what your plan is. The execution is always the key to that game plan. So
Yeah, and that's going to be our focus this whole week, is just going back to the basics, going back to the fundamentals that, you know, that make you successful. Tackling, we're going to work that every single day. We worked it yesterday. We'll work it every single day this week. And you know, even last week in practice, we tackled every team drill. You know, we went through every defensive team drill. We brought up some ninth graders and stuff to help us with that, so we weren't tackling our first running backs. And we went through the whole thing and tackled all week. So for us to tackle as poorly as we did on Friday night was very disappointing. Again, it's just one of those things we're going to have to continue to address. I think our advantage over other teams is our speed, and at times the other night we didn't play as fast as we should, and that's what we've got to improve upon. We've got to use our advantage, you know, out there on the field, and that is how fast we can play, and we've just got to play the full time like we're fast.
the penalties came back and bit us again too last week.
Absolutely, yeah. We had 110 yards worth of penalties, and anytime you have that, that's a big time issue. We didn't have the penalties on the major plays like we've had in the past. Yeah. We had a lot of penalties, but a lot of small penalties, a lot of offsides and things like that. Again, you know, I know of one drive we had 3 straight offensive false starts, yep. You know, and backed us up. And of course now you've got 1st and 25, and that's just hard to do. You know, they waste drives that way.
We did a good job on, especially in the first half, rushing. I think Traylon Oliver was averaging about 5 yards a carry in that first half. So.
Absolutely, yeah. We they did a good job of kind of shutting down the run, forcing us to pull it. We didn't do as good a job off the edge. You know, they wanted to spill everything to the edge, and they did a better job of that in the second half. Again, we went back to our overload set that we were using, where we were running to the boundary that first series, and you know, we would get in the edge, but we weren't getting the blocking on the perimeter. And when you don't get the blocking on the perimeter, I mean, the running back was just getting hit as soon as he got out there. So that took away a really good play for us.
Okay.
Disappointing that.
We've got a few highlights here. Sam, you can pull up the first one. This was our first touchdown run. Traylon Oliver had about a 6-yard run for a touchdown.
Yeah, this is finishing up a really good drive where we really dominated the line of scrimmage. You can see we get some blocks there. We get a chance to go and score. A lot of good things happening on that play, on that drive particular.
All right, we get down to the final minute or so of the first half, and we have a field goal by our freshman kicker, and I was really impressed with that kick that he did for a freshman. It was a 36-yard field goal, and he really booted it, so we can pull that one up.
Yeah, he's progressed so much to see where he was when we first started to where he is now. Austin Taylor has done a phenomenal job improving week by week, and we were at this point 4th and 10, and you know, I've seen him kick it all week in practice. He's been kicking it from the 20, you know, with the ball on the 20, and so I said, hey, let's roll it out there. So right now we've got a 10-6 lead right now going into halftime. 32 seconds left to go in the half.
That was killer with those last 32 seconds.
That's right. And the learning process for our kids. We're out of timeouts at this point. We've we've had a couple of alignment errors and stuff, so I did burn some timeouts. We come out after that kick, everybody's excited. 32 seconds, we're going to kind of let off the gas, and you just cannot do that at any point, because when you've got a fast back on the other side, I mean, if he gets a crease, he can go score. And we just kind of didn't play at our full speed, and they get it all the way down to, I believe, like the 15-yard line, and then the next play, again, we needed a timeout. We don't have a timeout. We run back out there, and it's just very disappointing right before half. We've got to play better than that. We've got to play fast at all times, and we let them get a free touchdown, and then they line up in the swinging gate, and because we're frustrated because of the touchdown, we don't line up and get set to take on the swinging gate. We give them 2 points. So now we go from 6 to 10 going into halftime to now it's 14 them and 10 us, and they've got the 4-point lead.
Okay. All right. Let's look at the second half. We got an interception here. Sessom had a great interception here. We got some pressure, looked like on the quarterback that time. It kind of chased him out of the pocket.
Absolutely. Yeah, we flushed him from the pocket. He rolls left here, and kind of made a mistake that quarterbacks can't make, and he tucks it, and then he just throws it late to a guy that's not really open, and Sessom does a good job stepping in front of it, making the pick right there.
Okay. All right, we got, want to show a scramble here, Braden Wright, showing how he's so effective with his feet when he gets outside the pocket also.
Absolutely. Now we got a draw back pass here. Everything kind of just, they get us covered, and we take off running. And big time play right here. We should just keep it on right there on the sideline, keep running down the sideline. Tries to cut back inside, and we commit the cardinal sin of running with the football as we put it on the ground. Luckily, we had a chance to recover it.
If I remember, I think Darren Wilson jumped on that ball alertly and saved us. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll give Horn Lake credit. They looked like they had maybe 3 or 4 running backs that they ran in.
Yeah.
And every one of them was very effective when they brought them in.
Absolutely. They're the big thing you had to stop there with them was the run game. We did at times, and at times we did not. And a lot of times we were having to blitz into the run, to run blitz, to put ourselves in the right position to make those plays. And that's what we have to do. Sometimes that's what we have to do. But we would like to be able to come up and take those blocks on, blow them up without actually having to send the blitz. So some things we're definitely going to work on this week. We face South Haven, a very similar type team that is really going to want to run the ball. They run a bunch of formations as Horn Lake did, and we're going to have to get it lined up right, and we're going to have to be ready to take on the run.
Well, I'll also mention that Horn Lake's got that D1 Hobson that's got so many offers. We pretty well held him in check the whole ball game.
Yeah, he wasn't. I didn't feel like he was really a factor in the game, and our kids played really hard and took care of that. Again, our Achilles heel this week was the run game. We've got to stop the run.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about this. As all the fans know, this is called the Backyard Brawl. This has been probably our most intense rivalry within the county for the last 30, 40 years, and it's always a real knockdown, drag out. This means a lot to the fans. I know even South Haven Mayor Musselwhite, I remember watching him play quarterback in high school in this series. So it goes back a long way. So let's talk a little bit about how we're going to face South Haven this week.
Yeah, the thing that stands out for them, of course, is their defense. They're a defensive-led football team. They're going to run the ball, eat up the clock, and they're going to play fantastic defense. They've got their front five is as good as any front five you're going to face in Mississippi high school football. They've got a guy that's committed to Texas, and and then you turn on the film, and he's a really good football player. Don't get me wrong, but he doesn't just stand out that much amongst everybody else because everybody else out there is so good. I mean, they're really good up front. So we're going to do some things to work with our run game to make sure we get some alleys to run the ball. That's what we do and do effectively right now. And We'll also have some passes off that to where when the defense starts sucking in there, that we're able to get the ball back outside as well.
Okay, well, I know this is going to be a very interesting contest, and like I said, this is something that has drawn, I remember over the years, drawn some tremendous crowds
Absolutely.
to both places, and Olive Branch has done pretty good in their home series with them, but they've done pretty well at their home too for the last few years, so this should
Yep.
be a real challenge for our team this week.
Absolutely, we're going to have to go in and go fight the entire 4 quarters, and that's what I've been talking to the team about. It's going to be a 4-quarter fight. We've got to be ready to go. We've got to tackle the football. If we can do that, we can contain them. We can hit a couple plays and continue to run the ball like we have against everybody. I mean, even, you look at South Panola, we ran for 250 yards. I mean, we're able to run the ball with pretty much anyone. We need to be able to do that, but we also need to be able to attack and win a couple times in the passing game.
Okay. Let's hope to see a big crowd. I know that in the past that there have been some tremendous crowds that Olive Branch has brought on the road for this South Haven series. So I'd like to see a full stadium side on our side this week. And if you can't be there, we'll be on OBTV this week. So we'll see you at 7 o'clock Friday night. Thanks.